Hi, I'm Sharon Hanby-Roby, and this is Safe Space with Sharon. Today, I want to talk to you about your health. I think it's something we don't really think about when we're in our 20s, even 30s, but you need to. I had a couple wake-up calls at that stage of my life. First of all, I was hit by a drunk driver when I was about 25. And yeah, I began to think maybe I'm not invincible because it was a pretty scary moment. I remember every second of it. And then when I was 28, I had uterine and cervical cancer. And that was a big wake-up call that, oh my gosh, this body that's been so vibrant and young and, I didn't have to think about, suddenly I had to think about what was happening. And so it really changed me and made me realize it's time to start taking care of myself a little better. And that's when I started with modern dance. It was a movement that I really enjoyed. In my college years, I was doing weightlifting and I didn't enjoy it. But when I found modern dance, it was like, oh my gosh, there's a whole group of women like me. It's creative, it's fun, and it gave me a good exercise routine. But I also realized then that it was time to think about all the other areas of my life. Once you've had cancer, you really want to think about what you put in your body. And so I began to eat healthier. I began to pay attention to what I did with my skin and taking better care of it. And so I went on to that point to a Mediterranean style diet, which is still fantastic. And good skincare. The older I get, the more important I realize taking care of my skin is. At 74, I think it looks pretty good, considering I haven't done anything like surgeries or any of that stuff. But then when I was 32, I started to get really sick. And it was weakness, it was pain, it was started to have memory problems. Like some days I couldn't remember my own name, and some days I couldn't even pick up a cup of coffee. And I kept going from doctor to doctor to doctor, and nobody could figure out what was wrong with me. At one point, when the doctor left the room, I opened my file, and in big letters, I saw PMS. In other words, all of this is just in your brain. I wish that were true, but it wasn't. And so I finally, this is when I began to really research health and realize I had to be my own health advocate. And I finally, through search and referrals, found an amazing doctor, Dr. Walmer, who's long gone now. But he was the first American physician allowed to study in China, Chinese medicine. So I tried to get an appointment with him, but it was going to take like 5 weeks. And I thought, oh my gosh, by then I'm going to be dead, or at least close to it. So I sat down and I typed out like a 3-page letter explaining to him my story and what was going on with my body. By the time I got to him, he knew what was wrong with me. He put a voltmeter to my teeth, and I about hit the roof. He said, I know what you have. It's mercury poisoning, and it's from the fillings in your teeth. See, I'm of that generation where they were still putting mercury silver fillings in our teeth, and it had slowly eroded my health since childhood. And I had reached the point where I had 40 T cells left in my body. Those are the cells that are your immune support. They're what make us healthy. So we began the ritual of detoxing my body and removing one tooth filling at a time. We couldn't do it all at once because it would shock my system. But that's when I realized that there are so many things we need to be more aware of. Younger, better. The sooner you realize your purpose in maintaining this amazing vessel that God has given us, the better off you're going to be. Learning to really understand the mechanics of the body and what we're doing when we're young that will affect us later in life. Simple things about have someone pay attention to how you walk. Are your feet lopsided? Do you need good supports? Because if you do and you don't get them, you're going to have knee trouble in the future. And it's just all those kind of mechanics. What are the repetitive motions that we do on a regular basis? Okay, I know we do the scrolling thing, and that can affect your hand or your wrist, but it can also affect your shoulders. So it's all the mechanics of the body and understanding our health and our responsibility in it. I'm also of the generation that, would put the baby lotion on and sit in the sun. Well, I'm fortunate that I would break out in a rash when I tried that. So I couldn't really be a sun worshiper. But I know folks that have so many wrinkles now and skin cancers from doing that. And I'm sure a lot of you younger folks still love to sit in the sun. Who doesn't? It feels good. But remember, only so much time at once. Let the skin recover, because you're going to be exposing your body for the rest of your life to the sun and so many other things. So it's learning that you need to drink your water. You need to take your supplements, your vitamins. You need to eat right and not too much alcohol. And what about smoking? See, I'm also that generation. We started smoking at 16 or younger. Because of the health issues I had, I quit smoking at the age of 31. I was a pack-a-day smoker. I am so grateful. It started with when I was diagnosed with uterine and cervical cancer. I had tried smoking before that. And when I got the cancer diagnosis, I'm like, well, hell, if I'm going to die, I might as well smoke because I enjoyed it. Well, the joke was on me because I lived and I had to quit again. And it was so hard, but so worth it. So if you are a smoker, it's time to think about quitting because it's not good for the body in any form or way. So it is really about understanding that they've only got one body. They've only got one set of skin. And it's time that you started paying attention to what your body's telling you. Because it will tell you. It'll tell you. If you wake up in the morning and you hurt, think about why. What did you do yesterday or 2 days ago? Because often the movements we made 2 days ago lead to pain 2 days later. At this stage of my life, I am a Pilates advocate. I started taking Pilates at the age of 50 because I realized the dance movements were no longer going to work for me. I got hit by a second drunk driver, and the body just said, I can't do that. I just can't make those moves anymore. It's too hard on my knees and my neck and my shoulders. And so I took up Pilates. And you know what's been amazing? There are a group of about 10 of us, I think now, that have been together for 24 years, and we're all in our 70s. And I love Pilates in particular because it's adaptive. So when I had breast cancer 13 years ago, we could adapt the movements. When I had knee surgery many years ago, We could adapt the movements. And it's something that I continue to do and still progress with at this stage in my life. So finding an exercise that is something you enjoy doing and become kind of addicted to, I think is important. So yeah, we'll change our exercise as years go by, but truly think about finding something that you can be consistent at. Whether it's walking, running, weightlifting, whatever it is, be a rat gym, but find something that works with you, your body and your brain, and allows you to continue to be strong and well balanced. By that I mean, it's really important as we age to maintain the ability of balance. It's something we all struggle with. I'm a little behind my classmates in Pilates. Not sure why. Maybe it's the weak knees, whatever, flat feet, all of which I have. But focusing on those kinds of activities is what's going to keep your body still going when you get to my age and past. Please subscribe to Safe Space with Sharon and have a great day.